Alright guys, so in today's video we're going to swap the front end on the truck. We're going to do the newer style front end, the 03 and newer style, where you change put the different headlights, fenders, and hood. And I'm going to show kind of the process of doing it. So yeah, right now we got the parts here in the back, well at least the fenders. And for those of you that follow the channel for the shortbread conversion, I guess a little update. Bumpers mounted, bed is on good, and let me see what else. I just need to mount shocks, I guess, and that's pretty much will wrap up that whole shortbread conversion. So the first thing you're going to want to do is remove the the hood. And the way I do it normally is I just remove the 13 millimeter bolts on each hood hinge. So there's 3 on this side and there's 3 on the other side. So yeah, just do that first I guess it's the easiest and fastest thing to do. Alright guys, so once the hood is off, if yours has this little plastic insulation here, or like seal, you're going to want to take it off or just move it out of the way. You have to get these bolts here, these two 13 millimeters and these two 13 millimeters, and it's the same on both sides. So pretty much, we're on the driver's side, but this is just mirror the passenger side. Alright, so once you remove that bracket, you're going to want to remove the hood hinge bracket. And it's pretty much these two 13 millimeter bolts here, and then this 13 millimeter bolt on the inside. And it's the same on both sides again. Alright, so then once those bolts are off, the hood hinge is going to kind of hang loose. But there's still going to be, I think, one bolt on the, like in here. So we'll get to that right now, but for now that's loose. And then after that, you're gonna wanna, you don't have to take this whole thing off, but I'm gonna just take it off to kind of ease up the process. It's 1, 2, 3, those 4 13 millimeter nuts, and then these 4 10 millimeter bolts, and this one 10 millimeter nut for the reservoir. And also while you're at it, you're gonna want to take off the air intake box here, reservoir, and then unbolt your fuse box on the other side. Take your battery out of the way. Then there's also a 13 millimeter bolt here at the front radiator core support, and one on each side again. So yeah. Alright, so when removing the air box, it's just held in by these rubber like grommets, and they kind of slide into place and lock it. So when you're taking it off, once you take off the hose here, and just don't be afraid to yank on it, because it doesn't have any bolts, it's just those rubber grommets. So then once you take the air box off, you'll reveal this plate here, and just take off all the 10 millimeter bolts here. Then it'll have, the reservoir will have a 10 millimeter screw on this side, or bolt on this side, and then just a 10 millimeter on this side, and this will be out of the way. Alright guys, so once you take the reservoir off, you're going to want to push it over to the side so you don't have to disconnect the hoses and you won't leak. So next you take off the rivets for the cover on top of the grill. You just pretty much you can put the flathead under here and just pop it out a bit, and then or you can do it with the needle nose, but it's easier if you just kind of use a flathead. Do that, and then you pop out this bottom section like that, and just do it all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 here. So it has 7 in total. And then under that for the grill, you'll just have these little screws. You just spin them. They're not like actual screws, they're just kind of like locks. So just spin them and then pop the grill off. And then for the headlights, you just pull these pins out, and to pull your headlights off, just pull the pins, and then you can take your headlight out. Then also in the middle of the grill, you're gonna have this 10mm bolt there. So also for the fenders, you're gonna have a 13mm bolt right there if you open the door to get to it, and then another one right there. They're pretty much right above the door hinges. And then you have, I'm pretty sure it's just one bolt on the bottom. Yep, this 13mm bolt there. And then after that, after you get that 13mm bolt, so I'll just take off all these, like the rivets for the inner fender liner to separate the fender liner from the actual fender. They're the same style as the ones on the grill, so just kind of the same deal over here. And so on the driver's side, you'll have the battery tray. You might want to spray like WD-40 or PB Blaster on it, because from the battery acid, the bolts get kind of rusty. And you have those 3 10mm there, and then the 2 10mm on the other side, and then those 2 10mm there, and you'll get rid of the battery tray. Then for the fuse box, it has, you pretty much lift here, it'll have these little tab things to pull the, then you pull the fuse box cover off. Set that there for now. Then you have a 10mm bolt here on this side. You have to lift the fuse box up. It'll have the two, this tab here, and then you'll have this tab right here, and you'll be able to pull the actual fuse box off. And then you have that 10mm bolt there, and then this 10mm bolt here, and I think that's it for the fuse box. So on the top of the bumper, you'll have this 18mm bolt there, and then this 18mm bolt next to it, down, more far down. And this one I already took off. The same thing on the other side. And then there's a bolt under, I'll show right now. Alright, so on the bumper, you want to take off that 15mm bolt there. It's kind of in front of the front wheels. It'll have one on each side. It's for this bracket here. So just take off that one there, and I'm pretty sure it's a 15mm. Then once you take the bumper off, you have a 13mm bolt there behind it on the fender. So on the driver's side, you're gonna have these two 13mm nuts. On the passenger side, you don't have, you take those off. And then the fuse box, like I said, it has this 10mm, this 10mm, this one there, and this one here, and that's it. And then for this one, I'm probably gonna have to use some vice grips to take off that bolt and that 10mm there, because they're like seized on. So yeah. So on the reservoir, don't forget to take off it'll actually have another 10mm here, but you don't need to take it off. You also won't need to take that off. Just you only have to take the plastics, like this one there, holding the inner liner on. So once you have your truck to this point, the next thing you're gonna wanna do is remove these headlight brackets here, just these plastic ones. It'll have a 10mm there. It'll have a Torx bit here, 10mm, another 10mm here, another one there, there, and then the Torx bit there. Well, pretty much you just take off the headlight bracket, this whole plastic you see here for both sides. So these are the new headlight brackets. Whenever you order them, just get the ones for like the 03 to 07 Classic Silverado. They should just bolt right in, but we'll make sure of that for you right now. Alright guys, so there's the new headlight brackets installed. They bolt right up to factory. They bolt right up, so nothing needs to be modified there. So just order your new headlight brackets for like a 03 plus Silverado, and they'll bolt right up to your original core support. So all this plastics here, make sure you save them because they're all gonna line up so you can keep them. Everything's gonna line up, so just keep them. The only thing that this one doesn't have is the plastic piece that comes around it like a spacer. This style of headlight, I guess, doesn't use it, so you won't need to save that. All right, so as you can see, the whole front is off. The brackets are on for the headlight. So when you, from your old fenders, make sure you take off the hood latch bracket. It's just gonna have this 13 millimeter bolt with a 13 mil nut in the back to get it off and then install it on your new fender. So you're gonna want to take these off from where it bolts up behind the door there, and they're pretty much just like a threaded insert, so that you don't need to hold it from the other side when you're tightening it. So when you install these, when you take them off of there, you're gonna need to put a flathead under that little ridge that sticks out, and then you'll just be able to slide it right on there. So just slide them on there and there, make sure they clip in, and then you'll be ready. When you're putting on the new fender, it's pretty much just bolting. Everything bolts right in, the 13 there, 13 on the bottom, the two 13s here, and then the two 13s behind the door, and the one under there. All those, they all bolt up. So when you're putting the fender back on, just kind of put everything you took off, just put it back on, because everything lines up. So pretty much it's like if you were just replacing the fender, because everything lines up exactly. So for the fenders, for sure, it's just a bolt-in on both sides. All the brackets and everything, they all line up back to how they used to. The liner works. So pretty much just for the fender part, everything is going to be a bolt-in for both sides. That's kind of how it looks now. Alright guys, so right there, I already cut off the frame horn for the bumper. So here, I'm gonna just show you how I do it. Since I'm just doing it with the cutoff wheel, I bend this bracket out of the way so that I can cut here, along here, and then I cut along here too, and then along on the other side, right here. Pretty much just leave the frame flush. All you're doing is really just cutting the weld. So let me do that, and then I'll show you installing the new frame horns for the new bumper. Alright guys, so here I am cutting the frame horn. So what I do, I just mark a line across where I want it to cut, and I cut on the side here, and then I still need to cut the side here, but I cut the side off the bumper mount or the frame horn, so it gives me the room that I need to cut right here on the side. So yeah, just so this way works quicker, so you don't have to cut all the way across. I pretty much just do a light cut on the top, just so it kind of makes the metal thinner in this area, and I cut up to the top, and I'll do the same over here, and then I'll just bend it, and it'll break off nice and straight there. I forgot to mention that for the headlights, all your wiring and head bulbs are gonna work. So And overall, what you'll need to do this swap will be a hood, a grill, the headlights, the headlight brackets, both fenders, and then a bumper with all the brackets, and the new bumper brackets or frame horns for where the bumper bolts, which is right there. So my next video will be with putting those when my bumper gets here, and with my new hood, because that's just for testing, like I said. So yeah.